Okay, welcome back to another recording of S.P.Q.R. Obviously, I was a little bit confused the last time. I wasn't sure if this one was gonna occur before, like this one, but this one obviously is gonna occur first, which is where, yeah, we're gonna not be sneaking. That Syrian woman. Sybil goes everywhere the Emperor goes. Or is it the other way around? Sybil's clothes got more luxurious by the day, and I hear she is buying property. Did she only get close to Severus to bring down Verania? I know she manipulated the trial. I just can't prove it. What would Verania have done to Sybil? I can almost see Sybil reclining at banquet with the Emperor and twisting his mind into the shapes she desires. Almost there. A puzzle solved. While I was at the slave market, I saw Sybil buying a new slave, and it was then my memory awoke. The dead body I found was her slave Crixus. As I ran back to the lair, I put the pieces together. Sybil was always at the trial, and she's been with the Emperor ever since. She must have ordered Crixus to testify at the trial. Sybil must be the one who framed Verania, but why? When I got to the lair, Verania wasn't there. My heart nearly pounded out of my chest as I waited for her. For the children. The Luna Festival is approaching, and my dead son Marcus's shade will be up from the underground. The glory of this new temple has been inspired by the memory of my infant son. All I have done has been to protect the life and preserve the memory of my family, like the spring of hawthorn on children's widows' sills. My wealth and position will keep Stella safe and happy, and will appease the shade of Marcus. When is going to be the day when Gordian is going to adopt a son and call it his own? Just so that he has a son to carry his name. News. Xanthus was waiting for me when I returned. His word came in a torrent of revelation. Sybil had orchestrated my trial. He had put it all together in the last few days. He just didn't know why she had done it. He helped me to a chair. Why did she wanted me to die? And why had she gone to such length to accomplish it? I sat up well into the night writing an account of my life, trying to figure out when I had crossed paths with Sybil. Merchandise. I always check the teeth of slaves. If they have plenty of them, it means they weren't beaten too much around the face. And if the teeth are in good condition, then they have been fed well. Long muscles are more important than large ones. The slave market near the Temple of Castor and Pollux had mostly Italian slaves from the country who are not fit for the subtleties of city work. I bought a good Dalmatian named Coites. Right, interesting stuff to look for in slaves. Another defeat. I was walking through the forum, just approaching the Lacus Curtius, when I thought I saw Xanthus strolling along. Whoever he was whistling and seeming to be in a good mood. I hated him even more for that than for any other suspicions I had about him. Since Gordian mentioned that they knew each other, I wanted to tell him about Cornelius's death, but he eluded me in the crowd. I don't think he noticed me. Almost caught. Lucius spotted me in the forum. I saw him before he saw me. But as I passed the Lacus Curtius, I sensed him recognize me. I made a left turn into a fruit stall. The merchant was engaged in conversation and didn't see me hiding among the large melons on the ground. Between the slats in the stall, I saw Lucius look around, and then he wandered off with a shrug on his shoulders. I bought berries from the vendor for Varania. Let's see, we need to go a little bit further here. I think this is also an easy puzzle or easy event coming up. Suspicions. I think back often to the evening Lucius gave me the sad news about Cornelius. The authorities had lied that he passed away at home. Lucius consumed far too much wine. His ramblings covered all topics from the Italianum jail to a certain part of a woman's anatomy to the barbarian I knew as Sanctus. I continue to think of Sanctus and the strange document which may have detailed the fall of Rome. In light of events of recent months, it is clear to me that people, including myself, are rarely what they appear to be. I'm just starting to think that Sanctus might just be a made-up person. I mean, I don't know. Who knows anything? Someone might be just taking on the role of Sanctus, because nobody really knows him, right? At last, Severus has agreed to see me. He sent an imperial messenger this morning. The scroll was sealed with the emperor's wax. I am to meet the emperor in secret in the Senate House 3 days before the calends of September. Finally, I will tell him I am an Antonine and that he is not. I will ask him to make me prefect of the city for life, and the troubles of Lucian Valerius will be past. Well, good luck with that. Accidentally, I shot my Navitor down. The monument to last. The emperor made a decision to resume the construction of the Septizodium at the southern corner of the Palatine that has been brought to a standstill out of spite by the ill-famed traitor, the Praetorian prefect who grossly abused the authority of his office. It is now time to implement the original project, according to which the magnificent facades Sine fronts makes the entrance of the imperial reception hall that will inaugurate the ascent to the Palatine. Very long sentence, or very confusing to read. The 7 niches of the front present 7 stellar deities, and the triumphant statue of our emperor, Septimius Severus, is projected suitably to dominate the whole. The confrontation. At first she denied it. I stood there in her overly decorated hovel asking her why, and she just shook her head, eyes wide, and refused to admit anything. I was so frustrated. I knocked over a table. Jars shattered on the ground. I grabbed the little old Syrian woman by her shoulders and shook her. I screamed in her face and jolted her back and forth until she broke down in tears and admitted what she had done. That's interesting to see. I don't even know if I walk around Rome. How do I get to this place? Yeah, I go around here. I guess... No, I don't go around here. Anyways, who knows even. How do I go from here to here? Maybe that's not even where I go. I go to here. This is all the way from over here. No. Yeah, from over there. I mean, certain places you're more likely to go than other places, right? Because it's just the way you navigate around, and then it's like, it's so confusing again. It also doesn't clearly say, oh hey, on this screen you can look up, you can look left, you can look right, and even if you look left, this is gonna be like a, it could just be like even not even looking at 180 degrees. It's just like, oh, you're clicking left or you're clicking right. You're just backing off because there is no left or right. Like what? Sometimes you can look up. Sometimes you can look left at 90 degrees. Sometimes it's 180 degrees. Even other times it's like 45 degrees. Or it's 0 degrees and you're just backing off like that. Just wow. A shock. When she first burst in, I thought that my mind's eye had opened again and I was having a very realistic vision. But when she took hold of me, I knew she was no shade. Now, she came to live. How she came to live, I have no idea. I only know that she knew I was responsible for the trial and execution. I don't remember much of what she said, but I did admit the truth to her. When she was gone, all she left behind was a few broken jaws and red welts on my upper arms where she grabbed me. Right, you're fine. Don't worry, Sybil, don't be so stuck up again, like, oh, Veronia's in my way, let me just like have my helpers push her out of the way. Or that's not how it well, whatever. Preparations. Quintus extended me a loan for the trim of the hair. When I told the barber it was for a special occasion, he offered a little color, but I told him I have no dandy. I did accept the free cent he offered, but just to cover my sweat. We have had a sweltering month. The man worked fast. I have a few bloody scabs from his work, but they will be healed in time for my audience with the Emperor. I bought a new toga and practiced draping it. A thought. That evening Lucia also rambled on about his investigation into calamitis. He had many suspects, including myself. He apologized for that and poured another cup of wine for himself. But I began to think, what if Lucius was the calamitis? What better disguise? He is always at the crime scenes, and he has access to every building in Rome. Who knows what the son of a disgraced senator is capable of? Yeah. Pretty much. The righteous death. Tomorrow the Mundus leading to the underworld will lie open to allow the spirits of the long departed to rise. Their presence is bound to confront us with the glory of the Roman past and make us strive for no less in future. Our forefathers saw the source of Rome's power in righteousness, which allowed them to civilize the entire world. We are happy that, after a slow decline, the ancestral virtus Romana fully resurrected in the persons of our valiant emperor Septimius Severus, his lady wife Julia Augusta, and his noble sons Antoninus Augustus and Geta Caesar. the models to be followed and admired. The revelation, even days later, I cannot believe that what Sybil told me, how the past can live and hurt those in the present. My father, Veranius, was with the Roman legions in Syria. As a young man, he betrayed Sybil's love. At first, I couldn't believe that all this was because of some soldier's indiscretion. But she spoke with such passion and such anger. When I left her, she was weeping, clutching at her chest and moaning about her long-gone soldier. Who is this even about? I guess it was Sybil. Sybil was telling her that, and then...
As a young girl in Syria, I loved Varanius. We took long strolls in the dry heat of the night desert. I loved him, and I gave him all I had, or would ever have. And then he left, closing after him my mind's eye. My parents abandoned me to a caravan crossing the desert because my powers no longer earned them money. Then I was sold into slavery until I was too old to marry or bear children. This is what Verania must pay for. The death that her father brought to my heart and my body.
Verania is Sybil's daughter? Is that what it says there? I don't even... A confession. I've thought many times of telling Verania that I killed the soldier who attacked her, but I am unsure how she will react. In fact, I fear she will reject me as her companion and take off on her own. She's like a thick branch with delicate blossoms growing off it. Most of her is strong and sturdy, but there are still parts of her that are fragile and easily crushed. I cannot let her be on her own, and I cannot be without her. Do we need to use our wooden horses here? Don't know. This is all flooded then. I don't think we've had yet the Acta Diurno tell us that it was flooded, but we just had this. This seems like a wooden horse because it doesn't move, right? Also, it's like the same exact shape as this. Or this. We'll see. Slow this thing down. This goes back out, I think. What the heck? So, I'm assuming that this is the wind direction, right? So, if our target is over here, the wind is over there. Then it's not like that, but... Maybe it's an impossible shot at that that angle. Oh, so when we have more wind, we need to not shoot as far. That's what I'm thinking. Right? Now we need to shoot like extra far. Against the wind. I think we did it. What do we got here? Another one of those wooden horses. I'm not sure if we're missing something here or if we're just using that and it's just gone from our inventory. And again, we can just switch this on and off. Do we just flood this? I guess we have no... do we flood that? I guess we're just flooding it, I mean... Let's see if we can actually do that. Yeah, we're just gonna do that. Exit here. GG. Just take in the views and then... I think this is back to the city. Or this is back to the city. This is back to the city. How about this then? That's the same. That's some The Last of Us branching path design right there. I mean, The Last of Us 2 branching path designs. So we go back to the city there. So I guess we did it. Congratulations. It wasn't that hard after some trial and error, like every other thing that we've achieved so far. I've done a little bit of peeking. Maybe I should tell you that. I was actually reading. Yeah, I should probably not tell you that. That's fine. But anyways, something about the endings and the decisions you make. I think the other map and also this one before, where you could turn on the valves and close the dam, and this one, the previous one, I think you can't go back to them later. I don't really know what the result of that is exactly, but we'll see. We'll see eventually. Festival of Luna. Yesterday, the covering stone of the Mundus ritual pit was lifted to allow the underworld spirit to roam about. Maybe the shade of Commodus will stay to assist me in an audience with the Emperor. Unfortunately, Calamidas ruined the day by flooding the Forum Boreum. The cattle market reeked with sewage as livestock was swept away. The seers in the Forum spread the word that this was the work of the lemurs of the dead released from the pit. Forum Boreum. After hearing that the cattle market had been flooded, I was sure Severus would be furious at me, but he was not. And I figured out why. He mentioned approvingly the quality of marble I use for the temple to his guardian spirit. On his request, I investigated the trouble at the market. Someone had experimented with the water flow in ways similar to that had occurred in the earlier flooding with the Julius Caesar temple. I reported back, and Severus asked me to spend the afternoon discussing the septizodium. the natural cause, the belief spread by the amateur seer that flooding of the Forum Boreum was produced by the lemurs who burst out from nether realms through the open mundus was rejected by the experts in religion as ridiculous. The Roman shades cannot work any damage to the Roman state for the reason of patriotism. Exactly. Of course, patriotism. It's even stronger than ghosts. The official inquiry by the engineer Gordian concluded that the cause of this incident is the same of that of the similar occurrence last month, which involved deterioration of the Aqua Claudia. On the Emperor's order, the urgent works renovating the aqueduct will start tomorrow. So good luck on that, Gordian. Shades of the past. Romans dig a ritual pit and call it the Mundus. They believe the spirits of death live in the pit. Spirits of death live in the pit, which is covered with a stone. 3 times a year during a Luna festival, the stone is removed and the shades or lemurs of the underworld come forth. What the Romans don't understand is that the dead are always with us. Romans perform rituals to keep the lemurs of the dead from stealing the spirits of the living, but they don't work. The dead stake their claim on the living and never let go. Yeah. Don't think any of those Roman rituals actually help. A broken promise. Verania and I have shared fear and anger. We have also shared joy and contentment. Now she feels betrayal, and I cannot empathize. I never believed in the Empire. Verania did. I never believed in the basic goodness of people. Verania did. I never believed I was protected from injustice. Verania did. Now she knows what I have always known, but she feels the loss of something that I knew was never there. Poor Verania. Le solution. I relit the flame of the temple of Caesar with the stone key and entered the temple basement. We could have already read that about in some other scrolls, I'm pretty sure. I went down to drain the water from the pot, then up to hook the pot to the rope. This opened the main temple doors, behind which I moved the maps to indicate the sequence of Caesar's campaigns, which are celebrated in the famous trials: Gaul, Egypt, Asia, and Africa. We got that right. I continued to the bathhouse, where I cooled the missing pump part in the cold water, which we did. Activate the pump, which we did, and delivered water from the hot to the tap-hit pool, which is basically the main hall pool, or the reservoir overflow. It's kind of confusing. Everything is confusing about this game. Whoops. I guess we can still read that. The Penetralia. Recording for 30 minutes. That's good. I went along the Via Nova and explored the heights of the Sacred Grove. After looking behind every closed door for another open one, I found a shovel which I used to dig up the statue on the grassy knoll. I returned to the Vestal's atrium and entered the Penetralia and offered the Palladium in the niche. I had to go to the back room and roll the jars right then left in order to restore the previous statue to its proper location. The precious statue. Exactly. So this is also part of a solution of a thing that we've already done. Because we're smart like that. A new life. A new vessel was chosen today. What? I guess it was just another vessel, not a vessel overlord. There are 6 Vestal virgins again, and I am not one of them. But who am I? I am strong in spirit and in body. I am a storyteller. I live here in the city, and I work along the river. I was saved from my unjust death by a stranger, and tonight before I put out the lamp, I took that stranger's face in my hands and kissed him the way I have seen wives kiss husbands. I am Verania, and there is no going back for me now. I mean, there's obviously a lot of things to take in when you're Verania, but when you're like that, and I don't think she liked being a Vestal virgin. She was always dreaming of, oh, I want to go outside, and now she's actually free to do whatever she wants, which is probably what she'd always have wanted, but not exactly, but very much so. So maybe she should be thanking Sybil for what Sybil has done, being a good mom. A plan. The Dalmatian is not as smart as Crixus. He has no help in figuring out my next move. Eventually, Verania will reveal herself and will offer evidence against me. I must get to Severus before she does. I must go out to the field of wickedness and open the execution chamber. There will be evidence of her escape, and I will have to tell all to Severus in my own way, with my own evidence. But first, off to the field of wickedness to find what should have been an unmarked grave.
The air in the deserted Curia was thick with summer heat as the Emperor arrived. I made my case. I was an Antonine, and I could prove false his claims of being one as well. His booming laugh echoed off the walls of the Senate House. "There are 100 sons of Commodus," he roared, "and I will deal with you as I've dealt with the others." The marble floor rushed up to meet me as the power of Rome swatted me to the ground like a fly.
Why does that not surprise me? I'm curious to see if Lucius survives that. Maybe he's gonna be imprisoned for that. Locked away, hidden. Like, even if the document is even true, it might not just be. Might just not be true. He might have just made that document up and just... I don't know. But then I think I read about it in Gordian Scrolls as well, which means that it's supposedly true, right? Hand-holding. A gift. At first I thought she was ill, but then I remembered a new Vestal was being chosen today. I had saved her hair cuttings, so I took them out and had some pale blue linen stuffed with them to make a pillow. I gave it to her and then left her alone. I was studying a plan of the sewers when she came to me. She did the most remarkable thing. She kissed me the way I remember my parents kissing. She held my hand. We sat listening to the sound of the city above. Right. An enemy within. Last night it was pointed out in the Senate by the prefect of the city Fabius Kilo that certain foreign elect religious cults inimical to and subversive of the Roman peace continue to plague the capital and even occasionally reach the upper orders of the society. Now, who could that be about? Sybil and the Emperor? This may result in a negative impact on the state's relationship with the divine and must be promptly rectified. It was proposed and voted in the form of a senatorial decree that resolute measures should be taken, which is exactly what I said before, must promptly be rectified, with the problem and the emperor be addressed with the request to proceed against the said superstitions. Well, yeah, it's broken again. I don't know if I know the solution for that one. Monka S. Let's just see what this reads. Autumnus. We have never met, but we share a friendship with an exceptional man. I believe that the brilliant inventor Cornelius was your mentor, and by now you must have heard the tragic news. So this man must have obviously known Cornelius as well, and I'm confused how is the Navitor and the real world connect even? Because it seems that Cornelius died in Navitor, but he also died here. But did he die before or after I started my playthrough? Incarceration is a cruel punishment for an old man whose health is failing. I wish that I could have intervened, but my hands were tied. I found a few notes that Cornelius had arranged to be hand-delivered to the old workshop. It will not ask how you got there, and you need not reveal your identity, just as I, in these perilous times, cannot reveal mine. In autumn, the Calamites will intensify his efforts to strike at Rome's Achilles' heel. Learn from the workshop so that you can return to the forum and redouble your efforts. Cornelius Code 95. Fine. How do you even write 95? It's like 100 minus 10 plus 5. So this is autumnus. How do I get there? I don't know how to get there. How long am I recording? I don't think we've been in here. Have we been in here? I'm a little bit confused because I think we're missing stuff, but I don't know why we would be missing stuff. Why would the Navitor not crash for us every time? I guess we need to, obviously, duh, we need to enter this code first. Autumnus. Let's see, so it's 100 minus 10 plus 5. I'm too smart. Bada boom. Get rectus. That's how you open a door. Everyone knows that. This is a large eye of a dragon. What's this about? Oh, that looks promising. Okay, that's cool. I don't think that's supposed to look like that. I think it's supposed to be a bug then. No, I don't know. This is weird. I've never seen that before. It must be some error with the way that I'm playing this game. It must be the lightning is just causing so much memory to be used that it's just not. Can I switch this around again? Doesn't seem like I can. Is it even possible to do anything here? Did I mess up? Did my computer mess up? Don't think I can change this. Like, you're supposed to redirect the electricity, and I think I'm actually doing the redirection here with the electricity fine, because it goes like all the way over here, then this clip over here, this bracket, and blah 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 blah. Pretty messed up how the colors are over there. Pretty messed up, but I think it should just work because we're smart and we trust our fixes. I wasn't even worried. Beaten. I woke up in an alley of the Vicus Cupreus. I had bruises all over my body, but luckily no broken bones. Whether the Emperor himself or his guards had inflicted my injuries was irrelevant. I reached too high, and I was thrown face down into the fields that I have grown accustomed to. On my face was a gash made by Severus's signet ring. I am sure I will carry this mark with me for the rest of my life. Poor man. Let's see, what are we missing here? The axe as well, I thought so. A crime. The other day I saw two members of the Praetorian Guard beating on a man in a toga. He had stopped resisting them long before I came upon the scene. His limp body jumped with every punch and kick. The soldiers left him in a heap in an alley and walked away laughing. The metal in their helmets gleamed in the sun, and the wind ruffled the plumes. So, what is Sanctus gonna do? Kill the two soldiers? Or is he gonna help the man in toga? Questions that you're gonna answer in the comments, I guess. Grief. Marcella is dead. We found her under the rubble of the insula, still clutching in basket of the midday meal she was bringing me. I blame the Emperor for calling me away. If I had only been there, I could have saved her. I blame Soter for his shoddy materials. If he had just if he had just used better wood and stronger bricks, Stella would be alive. I look at the decaying fruit still in the picnic basket, and I still can't believe my Stella is gone. Well, I guess you got what you bargained for. Maybe you could use your discretionary fund to buy you a son. I don't know. Seems the right thing to do. So yeah, leave in the comments if you think that Xanthus is gonna be beating up some soldiers, or is he gonna save a man in a toga? Look after him. Because obviously Sanctus is a changed man, and what's he gonna do then? He didn't like the violence before, but who knows, like, who knows? I'm gonna save. Thanks for watching, and see you maybe next time.